Hello children, how are you all doing? Today we are going to read the lesson Too Big, Too Small. This is from the ICSE Class 2 English subject. We have our little Vishwakash here with me. He says he is just big enough to read and learn his lessons by himself. He is very excited to start reading this little story with us. Vishwa, can you please start reading the lesson for us?
Hi, I am Vishakash. Today I gonna read Too Big, Too Small.
Children, this story is about a little girl named Shanu. Shanu, like you, she's a little kid, very active and wanted to help her family with many things. Before we start, let's see who is there in her family. Ami means mom. Abu means dad. Dadu means grandpa. Dadi means grandma, and a little baby. So she has Ami, Abu, Dadu, Dadi, and a little baby in her family. Please continue, Vishwa.
I can't lift you up, Shanu, says Ami. You're too big. You can't walk to school alone, Shanu, says Abu. You are too small. You can't sleep in the baby's cot, Shanu, says Dadu. You are too big. You can't carry the baby to the park, Shanu, says Dadi. You are too small.
So children, as you see in the story, Shanu's mom says, I can't lift you up, you're too big. Means Shanu has grown up and she is a big kid now. Shanu is too big for her mom to lift her up, right? Now Shanu's dad says, you can't walk alone to school because you are too small. He is right, because Shanu is still young and does not know where the school is, and it is not safe to go out alone and she may get lost. So it is always better to take help from the parents. Dadu says, you can't sleep in the baby's cot. You're too big. Of course, Shanu is a big kid now. She can't sleep in the crib, the baby's cot. Right, children? Now Dadi says, you can't carry the baby to the park. You are too small. Children, Dadi is worried about the little baby. If Shanu carries the little baby to the park, she may fall down. Shanu is too small, right?
Shanu is puzzled. Too big, too small. How can she be both?
That is a very good question. Too big or too small? How can I be both too big and too small at the same time? Children, I'm sure you also had similar confusion, right? Shanu has so many questions on her mind right now.
Too big to wear her old pink frock, but too small to make dosa on the stove.
Shanu is too big to wear this old pink frock. Shanu is too small to make dosa on the stove.
Too big to climb up on Dadu's back, but too small to carry the baby on hers.
Shanu is too big to climb up on Dadu's back, but she is too small to carry the baby on hers.
What am I the right size for? Shanu wonders.
She is very puzzled like you are. When you want to help with something, someone says you're too small and someone says you're too big. What size exactly are you? You really wanted to help the family, right? Let's continue, Vishwa, to see what our family says now.
Ammi smiles and says, "You are just big enough to go to school, and you are just small enough for me to carry you on my shoulders," says Abu. And and you are just big enough to take me for my morning walks, says Dadu. And you are just small enough for me to tell stories to, say Dadi.
Excellent. Children, you see, Shanu is just big enough to go to school. Like her dad says, she may be too small to walk to school alone, but she can take help from parents, right? Shanu's mom may not be able to lift her, but Shanu is just small enough, so the dad can definitely carry her on his shoulders, right? Shanu is also just big enough so she can help her Dadu with his morning walks. Dadi says she has many stories and Shanu is just small enough for her to tell stories too.
And you will always be the perfect size for this, they all say, and give her a warm, wonderful hug.
Thank you, Vishwa. That was fantastic. So, children, as a quick summary, just like Shanu, you may also be hearing very often from your parents and elders that you are too big or too small whenever you want to do something, right? Being a kid, you may not know all the things. Some things may not be good for you, and some things may not be safe. So, you may be confused with what are the things you can really do to help your family, right? You can always check with your parents what is the right thing you can do to help them. And the most important thing is everyone in your family loves you. There is no too big or too small, and you are the perfect size to share the love with your family. Okay, children? Hope you all enjoyed this little story. We'll meet you again in our next video. Until then, happy reading. Take care.